Hello, and welcome to another episode of Todd Talks. When Todd talks, people listen. Yeah, baby, yeah! Dun, 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 dun. Wrong Michael Myers, I know. But hey, hopefully, one day. I would like to see Austin Powers in a death battle, although I have no idea who you'd put him against. It have to be another spoof character. But anyway, today, on this Halloween, first Halloween, I mean, they did do John Talbane versus Saberwolf on Halloween, but they moved it to anyway. Uh, we are discussing Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers, and I'm back on a winning streak. Yes, SpongeBob and Jason Voorhees, two characters who I could care less about. I honestly hate in certain ways. I don't like horror, and I never like SpongeBob, and yet they're the ones who saved my season. Who would have thunk? So yes, let's talk about this death battle because there is actually quite a bit to talk about. I liked how it was a shorter episode. It fit in this context because, like, given who these characters are, what would they really talk about besides all the manner of kills that they can do? Yes, they could easily show the brutality like over and over and over again, but after a while, it's got to be about something else. So, and they are so similar in terms of like enduring pain, always coming back, and whatever. It would have just kind of felt pointless after a while. The second thing I want to note is that, as I called in my preview video, they made this before Halloween Ends came out, like timeline wise. So they had to say in their video that Michael Myers is still out there when canonically he is now dead thanks to his sister, Laurie Strode. Remember, she slit her wrist and then sliced his neck. But yeah, so I know some people would call that out, but they have to remember like when production is done. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was done before October even happened, if not like final editing. Uh, so the ending and their result did comply with what happened in Halloween Ends. So it all works out. Let's see, three. They're the Halloween theme of it all. Yes, they totally embraced the Halloween aesthetic, like the holiday with the whole campfire stories and people disappearing and at the end. Yeah, we're thankfully, I'm pretty sure Wiz and Boomstick have clones that they can be using for the future episodes because we're not going to see those ones again. But yeah, I appreciate them going all out for Halloween because it fit. Like this one fit. Like doing it for Alucard versus Dio, not really. Doing it for Saberwolf, John Talbane, not really. Doing it for Jason versus Michael Myers, yeah, you definitely got to do it. And it was funny. And uh, after 10 years and 9 seasons, you need to have a little fun every once in a while. They did that with SpongeBob, and now the SpongeBob episode. Now they're doing it with here. Um, the battle. Um, okay, I know it's probably gonna be a hot take. Uh, I thought it was only okay. Yeah, I know, right? I didn't know what to expect because these were slashers. This was going to be, like who could chop one another the best, I suppose. But when they showed the beginning at like the preview, they setting it up with killing the people. I was fine with that. I was like, okay, yeah, that sets it up. That explains why they're both there, and and so on and so forth. But when we get the full battle, it kind of just felt basic. And I know that these are basic characters. Again, they're known for their stabbings and slicings and maiming of all manner of people and animals and androids. Um, Also, shout out to the commenter who told me why the android from Jason X looked like an attractive woman. I didn't look into it, and apparently there was a reason. So I slightly take back. No, I don't take back crap. Uh, it's still dumb, but at least there was a reason. Anyway, uh, it just felt. I felt like they actually went too far with the Halloween aesthetic here because they made it to where Jason and Michael were both going after these kids, these teens, and that took away from the fight. And I didn't like that because yes, it's a horror episode, but we already saw the killings at the start. You know, Michael killed one, Jason killed another. It should have been more, in my opinion, about Michael versus Jason. I mean, that's why we're watching it. And then when they did do it, it was at times I felt a little choppy, and again, just it just felt a little basic. The ending was good. I liked Jason using the axe to chop off the head and then doing the split right on the gravestone. That was cool. But then they spent like 10 seconds focusing on the walk off scene. And yes, I get it. It was because he's walking off to go meet Wiz and Boomstick. But I thought, I was like, wait a minute, is something about to happen? Because it just kept going on. So it wasn't a bad fight. It was just definitely, if you were expecting like a horror gore fest, fitting slashers, you probably didn't get what you wanted. So, but in the end, I got the right pick. I picked Jason Voorhees. And actually, right after the battle happened, I dropped a link to to a very good friend of mine, Matt Shore, who is a die-hard horror fan. Like, he lives and breathes this stuff. And you know what he did? He went right to the battle and the result. Shame on you, Matt. Shame on you. You are part of the problem here. Actually, you just responded to me. Hey, I'm technically on the clock here. Oh, fine. Be on the clock, Matt. Be on the clock. You do that. All right. So anyway, nice battle. Definitely not in the top of the season for me. But if you liked it, and I know some of you will be happy about like the teleporting discussion and everything else that went on with it. So enjoy. Next up, we have the final episode that we knew was coming, more or less knew was coming, from the preview at the start of the mid-season. We are getting Sauron from Lord of the Rings versus the Lich King of World of Warcraft. Yet another set of new franchises coming to Death Battle. They've been living up to the promise. They've been living up to the promise. So this one's interesting. I know a lot about Sauron. I love Lord of the Rings. Read the books, read the movie, watched the movies, good and bad. I have not watched Rings of Power yet, but I'm not sure how much that will factor into things because based on what I recall about the end of season one, Sauron isn't Sauron. It's complicated, but I know next to nothing about the Lich King. I know World of Warcraft. I know who the Lich King is roughly, and I know like he like froze Azeroth or whatever. But I don't know his capabilities, his powers, and how that'll factor in with Sauron. Because remember, when we see Sauron in Lord of the Rings, he's the eye, you know? So I'm excited for this one. If for no other reason, then the next 3 episodes have not been teased at all. They are complete mysteries, and that makes it exciting. So with that, I'm in this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers? What did you think of the fight, the breakdown, the Halloween feel, and are you excited for Sauron versus the Lich King? Let me know in the comments below. So, I thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening. Have a happy Halloween, and I'll see you around.